What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. So before I get into this video, shout out to the brother Top Dog for the donation to the channel via the PayPal. It says, "Hey, Too Raw, can you do a video on the 2014-15 NBA season? Thank you for keeping the truth and speaking the truth for standing up to the media and the narratives." So, of course, the 2014-15 season was notable for several things. It was notable, of course, for the return of LeBron James to Cleveland Cavaliers after his stint with the Miami Heat. And, of course, that was the year that we saw the rise of the Steph Curry era and the Golden State Warriors in the NBA. They went on to win 67 games that year, surprisingly. 67 games that year. Steph Curry won his first MVP award, and they won the championship, although the finals MVP went to Andre Iguodala. That season, the regular season, ran from October 28th, 2014 to April 15th, 2015. The playoffs ran, with the exception of the finals, from April 18th, 2015 to May 27th, 2015. The NBA Finals was from June 4th, 2015 to June 16th, 2015. The top pick of that draft prior to the season was Andrew Wiggins. He was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers, but he was traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves prior to the season because the GM wanted the roster to be constructed to fit a team or to be constructed to have a team that would complement his skill set. Prior to the season, we saw some significant departures as far as NBA players' retirements. Derek Fisher opted to become the new head coach of the New York Knicks instead of playing one more year with the Oklahoma City Thunder, ending his 18-year career, which, of course, included 5 NBA championships with the Lakers. Shane Battier announced his retirement after 13 seasons in the NBA. Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot, announced his retirement after 17 years of play, including a championship in 2004. His fellow Piston, Rip Hamilton, also announced his retirement after 14 years in the NBA and a championship with the Pistons, as I said. And Steve Nash, after a few years of decline and injuries, called it quits after 18 seasons. We saw some coaching changes. With the New York Knicks, out was Mike Woodson and Derek Fisher, although that wouldn't end very well. The players had to hide the kids. Well, I can say hide the kids, but hide their wives. Minnesota Timberwolves, Rick Adelman was out. Flip Saunders was in, albeit Flip would not have a very long return to Minnesota as he would be diagnosed with cancer and passed away later. I believe it was at the beginning of the 2015-16 season. Larry Drew was fired from Milwaukee Bucks. Jason Kidd was hired. Brooklyn Nets saw the departure of Jason Kidd going to Milwaukee. He was replaced by Lionel Hollins. The Utah Jazz, Tyrone Corbin, former player for the Jazz, a former NBA player, was fired and replaced with Quinn Snyder. Mike D'Antoni was fired and replaced by Byron Scott. Mark Jackson was fired infamously by the Warriors and replaced by Steve Kerr. Mike Brown was fired before LeBron got there, fired again for LeBron, and replaced with David Blatt, who he would later get fired the middle of the next season. And the Pistons, John Lawyer, who was an interim head coach, was replaced by Stan Van Gundy. Now, as I said, for this particular season, the rookie actually, I didn't say he was rookie of the year. He wound up being rookie of the year, I believe. The rookie of the year, I believe, was Andrew Wiggins. He was named rookie of the year, but he was named rookie of the year with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we'll see if I can get some of these awards up here. So Andrew Wiggins was named rookie of the year. He averaged 16.9 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.1 assists. Russell Westbrook won his first scoring title that year, averaging 28.1 points per game. DeAndre Jordan led the NBA in rebounding with 15 a game. Chris Paul led the league in assists, 10.2. And James Harden led in win shares, 16.4. So how the hell was LeBron James considered the best player in the league when Curry won the MVP, 23 points, 4.3 rebounds, 7.7 assists? I don't get it. But anyway, going into the season, it was actually the Spurs that was considered the team to beat coming into the NBA. It was actually considered the Spurs. And if I recall correctly, the Spurs actually did pretty well. That season they went 55 and 27. So they were the defending NBA champions, and they did well. They didn't win their division, obviously, but they did well. But the Warriors just ran roughshod with the NBA, man. The top teams, they had the best record in the NBA, 67 to 15. As a matter of fact, the Western Conference was extremely strong. When you look at teams that had better than 500 record in the West, Portland Trailblazers were 51 and 31. The Thunder were 45 and 37. As I said, the Warriors 67-15. The Los Angeles Clippers were 56 and 26. The Rockets were 56 and 26. The Grizzlies were 55 and 27. The Spurs were 55 and 27. Dallas was 50 and 32. The Pelicans 45 and 37. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers were beating up on a ridiculously weak Eastern Conference, in which they were one of just 3 teams to win 50 games. The other being the Chicago Bulls, won 50 games exactly. And Atlanta Hawks, the worst 60-win team in NBA history. Look, man, they were so bad. Well, I consider it bad because they won 60 games. But you just knew, like, the Hawks were pretenders. Like, seriously, like, all of us, we all knew, even though they had the best record in the East, we knew they weren't going to beat anybody. It was like, if you want to talk about a team that was a regular season, like, system orientated, like, team, like, okay, yeah, on any given night, they'll win a regular season game, but in the playoffs, they're going to get exposed. And when a team gets really serious, they're going to expose that team for what it is. They didn't really have dominant one-on-one scores like that. And sure enough, in the playoffs, they got exposed. So we kind of knew that LeBron was probably going to go to the NBA Finals. Miami was dealing with injuries. The Boston Big Three were pretty much, I think that team was long gone then. Matter of fact, I want to say 2014-15. I want to say that might have been the first year Paul Pierce went to Washington, where he actually played really well. Garnett might have still been with the Brooklyn Nets, but that Celtic team was long gone, and so there really wasn't much competition in the Eastern Conference. I mean, like I said, you had the Bulls. That's about it. Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, we didn't take them seriously. Paul George and the Pacers, they weren't really good. Matter of fact, 2014-15. That might have been the year Paul George was actually hurt. I think it was. I think that was the year he was hurt. So they didn't really have any competition in the Eastern Conference, y'all. So when it comes to basketball, from the actual play, the NBA was still enjoyable, but there were signs that we were starting to enter into this new era. I didn't like the growing trend at that time of the 3-point shot becoming so prominent. Like, I want to say that was the year we really started seeing it. Let me see. NBA league averages. Because I remember saying to myself then, man, why are these guys shooting so many fucking threes? I mean, because now, let's see. This past year, teams averaged 37 three-pointers a game, right? Which is the second highest average behind only the year before, 37.6 three-point attempts per game per team. So the year before that, it was teams took 21.5 three-point attempts per team. 2014-15, that jumped up to 22.4. So yeah, we're really getting now into an era where the three-point shot is becoming more and more prominent, because just 5 years earlier it was at 18.1, and it really jumped up the next year 24.1, and in 2016-17, 27 three-point attempts. So that upward trajectory was starting then. I didn't even know it was going to get much worse than that. Look, like I said, I don't mind if Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are doing it. Reggie Miller in his prime. But when you got guys who are better suited to be post scorers, or maybe they should be, taking more mid-range shots. I don't care what the analytics say. A mid-range shot is very important, especially in the playoffs. The in-between shot is very important. But, what do I know, man? But that was the year that the Warriors won it all, man. They won it all. People like to say, "Oh, if Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were hurt," but hey, the other time y'all don't give them motherfuckers no credit. But when you want to make an excuse for who, then it matters. But anyway, 2014-15 NBA season wasn't one of my favorite seasons. I have to be honest with you. Wasn't one of my favorites. I preferred the year before. It just felt like that was the end of an era for some reason. I don't know. It just felt like that was the last year of old school ball. It's like, as much as I don't hate Curry, but I'm just not a fan of this proliferation of this. You know, I'm just not a fan of this shoot 'em up 3-point era. Just not a fan of it. I like the 3-point shot. I love it, but it's lost its uniqueness. It's lost its luster. Like the home run. It's one thing when Mark McGuire or Albert Bell or Greg Lazinski or one of these sluggers are doing it. But when everybody hits a home run, what's so fucking special about it? It's not special anymore. Like when I was growing up, you had Steve Kerr, 3-point specialist. Craig Hodges, 3-point specialist. Tim Legler, 3-point specialist. Everybody just yaks up threes. I'm supposed to just, it's such remarkable basketball. I don't need an analyst to tell me what the fuck I'm supposed to like and what I'm not supposed to like. I think it's stupid. I want to see real centers play again. I don't want to see 7'5" players yakking up fucking threes. It's stupid. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.